Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. You gotta really enjoy the long-range community and their quest for the longer, higher BC, heavy for caliber bullet, and pretty much the bullet industry is following them. They're making those bullets now, and rifle companies are making newer barrels with faster twist to be able to stabilize that. Well, as you all know, I'm old school, and as far as I'm concerned, velocity almost always trumps mass. And I'm going to kind of prove that today. But first, as you know, with YouTube and firearms channels, I have to do my introduction here. So here's my rifle, there's the target, background. There is no one here, this is private property. I own all my own equipment. Nobody sponsors me, nobody I don't get any kickbacks from anybody, and I don't care about that. What I care about is the community that's related to firearms who want to learn something and see an actual proof and demonstration. And that's what I'm here for. So here we go. Well, I'm working up these loads. Go back to a previous video where I proved that 50 grain bullets in a 1-in-7 will stabilize, at least in my rifle. Alright, I've already shot 2 sets of 3 with a new set of powder. My objective was to get up to 3,300 feet per second, and I've already accomplished that. But here's my last 3 shots so that you can see them on target down there. I've got everything set up, the chronograph. Here we go. It'll be left-hand target, lower right. Now, you'll see on that camera other bullet holes. I'll pay attention to them. That was my first 2 sets of 3. But here's my highest charge weight that is still 0.2 of a grain below listed max. Okay, that average, 3,300 even, a standard deviation of 17, an extreme spread of 33, so I'm at 3,300 with the 20-inch. Okay, let me go ahead and convert over to the 24-inch. I expect those numbers to be quite a bit higher. But the proof is in the pudding as far as 3,300 feet per second, because you're going to want to watch the end of this video to see why 3,300 feet per second is important. Okay, hang on folks. Well, the problem with a 1-in-7 twist using a small for caliber bullet like the 50 grain is not necessarily a stabilization factor. It's more of a destabilization factor because of the high RPM of high velocity spinning in a 1-in-7. It's spinning super fast, and a varmint or thin jacketed bullet can come apart. Now I suspect on the last shots that I did that one of them did just that, because all I could see was 2 holes. And the speed, folks, up to an average of 34.59. The good part of that is a low SD of 2 and extreme spread of 5. But I will shoot these last 3 shots because I don't show any pressure signs on the previous case. A little bit of an ejector smear, but that's about it. So let's go ahead and shoot these last 3. The camera's on down there. Let's record the data and have some fun. Alright, here we go. It'll be the lower target on the right. Okay, that was an average of 34.42, an SD of 43, an extreme spread of 82. So that last load was way too high, and the volume was actually slower. That can be an example of overspinning. I think you saw the target down there, but let's go ahead and wrap this up, analyze the target, and look at the information that I have for you. So hang on, folks. Okay, folks, this first one over here, this is the 20-inch on this side, the 24-inch rifle on this side. That was a sighter using the old 50 grain from the last video. But now here is the average 32.76 on my first loads. I'm not going to give you the load data because I don't want somebody to replicate these. These numbers are pretty high. Even though they were safe in my rifle, I don't want you to take a chance. But the numbers came right out of the Hornady manual using Powder Pro Varmint, the 223 reloading index with a 50 grain VMAX. Okay, here was my second 3, an average of 33.01. Yeah, that's a pretty good group there. Here's my third group. You notice that it actually dropped down to 32.82. So there is a point of diminishing returns as far as your maximum speed for the 5.56 with the 50 grain. And there you can see those 3 shots. Okay, over here with the 24-inch barrel. These were my first 3 shots, so I went ahead for the second 3 and adjusted the scope up. But that average was clear up to 33.91, which is still below the book value shown in the Hornady manual, but that's pretty warm. Okay, now you can see the second 3. Look at that jump, 34.59, and either I've got 2 in 1 hole here, or I did have a bullet that disintegrated on its way to the target. I don't know. Maybe you can see that from the replay. Well, no, we'll see. Anyway, here's my last 3 shots. You did see that on video. That average was 34.42. Again, it dropped even with 0.2 of a grain. There's a point of diminishing return as far as your velocity is concerned. Okay, now here's the coup de grace. This is the point that I was trying to make for you about lighter being faster, at faster velocities being better. Over here you can see the 50 grain VMAX at 3,300 feet per second with a ballistic coefficient of 0.242. This came right off of Hornady's ballistic calculator. You can see at 300 yards I've only dropped 10 inches from a 0 at 100 yards. And my speed is still 2304. And the energy, well, that doesn't matter. This is a varmint round, but that's 589. Okay, then if you look over here, now there's a heavier bullet. There's a 75 grain Hornady boat tail hollow point match. This is kind of where the industry is going with a heavier for caliber bullet with a higher BC. That BC is 0.395. The speed was, in the manual, the top speed was 2,600 feet per second. But look at this. At 300 yards, my energy is 701, and I've dropped 16.1 inches. So as far as I'm concerned, a flatter trajectory with the 50 grain for a Varmint type of caliber is what I'm after. The energy difference is what? 111 foot-pounds of energy at 300 yards difference for that flatter trajectory. You can see why with smaller grain bullets, this is just my opinion now, that speed is your king. Now back to this targets up here again before everybody jumps on me. Yes, I will lower the powder charges on these bullets because most varmint hunting, at least in my neighborhood, is done in the spring to summer when temperatures are warmer, and those velocities are high, and today it's about 50 degrees. So thanks for watching, folks. If you like this, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, will you? And leave a good comment and help us firearms channels out so that hopefully YouTube will change their ways and realize there are safe and sane shooters out there who like to pass on information to all of you that are interested. But no matter what, God bless y'all. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.